Map number 1 that ends up going the way of Moist Shopify. Welcome back, everybody. This is 1-0 between Moist Shopify and Blinn, and it almost didn't really go that way because Emily, there was a comeback happening. It was 7 rounds in a row, I believe, that this side of Blinn was getting on their attacking side. But don't worry, for the Moist Shopify fans, they're able to close out the map.
And it felt like on the defense side that Blinn was kind of playing one by one, in my opinion. There was around round 3 where they gave Otoshima a really nice clip for a 3K, just perfect crosshair placement. But I feel like that shouldn't happen. If they were all peeking together, he wouldn't be able to get away with that. I felt like once they went to the attacking side, they felt a bit more momentum, and they were playing a bit more with teamwork. But it just seemed like throughout this entire match, it was really a Mata show shift.
Yeah. No, I mean, it absolutely was. I think the thing for MXS, you know, their offensive identity, they didn't really care what the chamber was doing. They didn't really care about any of the utility coming through from the breach. They were just taking all the gunfights on top of the sites. I mean, outside of 2 plants, every round that they put together on an offensive win was by ways of getting kills. So they really were looking to just bully out this Blinn team when they were on the offense. And that worked out nicely. We flipped the sides, though, and some of the things that we were talking about in terms of the Neon finding value in combination with the fault line, where you can tend the fault line down one side, the fast lane down the other. It completely blocks up the site. That was working out really well for Blinn, and it was really stretching out MXS's defense a lot until they eventually try to get a little bit more proactive. They don't allow this fight to get planted in the last couple of rounds outside of just one, and I think that was what they needed, was try to put a little extra pressure on the outsides of the map. Don't allow the fault line fast lane combo to come through so easily. Force this Blinn team to have to play through middle or some through garage, and that little bit of an extra adjustment I think really helped save MXS in this map.
But the teams look really comfortable on the attacking side, and Emily, you mentioned momentum. That's exactly what we saw. The first 6 rounds went the way of Moist Shopify on that attacking side. Same thing when we switched sides from the pistol. It was 7 rounds in a row for the side of Blinn. So it was very momentum based for these two, but there was already a pretty massive lead for Moist Shopify that they just had to close out. And I know you wanted to talk about it. We wanted to talk about that one round where Spaz, and it wasn't a 1v2.
Yes, it was round 23, and actually this was such an important round for them to win. They reacted really well. They actually started off on getting the long A control, realized that it was stacked on that site, and then they reacted quickly. They all ran away super fast, went towards C, did a C split with the Rolling Thunder, got on the site. Somehow it ended up in a 1v2 for Spaz. Spaz was in the most perfect spot here. I felt like he just needed a little bit more trigger discipline. He did do it for a little bit, for like 2 more seconds, and I feel like we would have gone into OT if that was the case. But either way, they didn't get the win on that map. Looking at the stats here too, I mean, I was talking pregame that I felt like MXS Shopify had more that they didn't really rely too much on just one player. But looking at the stats with Mata, I mean, he was just flying around everywhere and just being fearless.
Yeah, he always looks so comfortable when he's playing the Jet, when he has to go up. And as we talked about towards the beginning before this map, open up the space, open up the round, create that first kill for the team. He's always there. He's always comfortable. I mean, he gets almost 30 kills, 29 and 16 that he ends up being. And for Okeanos, he was doing a little bit of the same in those rounds that we mentioned that the team was getting back to back to back. But it does get harder with the Neon, because once they start to read that, you know, they're going to play fast towards that C side, or they're going to go with the stun right after, or something that Shift was saying, then it's a harder read, and it's a bigger counter that comes through for the side of Moist Shopify, which allows them to win the map. And now we close out that map of Haven, we go into the map of Icebox, and we're in the situation where we wonder, I mean, can Blinn do something? Can they bounce back, Shift?
Yeah, you know, it's just to kind of, you know, use the natural segue of the Haven to the Icebox. That was like the most Blinn map ever that we just saw. Like, they got completely outslayed and still nearly brought it to an OT. The thing about it is, and where the transition comes in, you cannot afford to let that happen on Icebox. This map, no pun intended, could snowball out of control very, very quickly if you find yourself losing control of those key positions, like especially on the defensive side, you know, over towards yellow, trying to hold over towards the front side at 480 on the other side of the site. Those are going to be some of the big contest spots, especially since MXS have recently swapped up their composition to bring Arena in the mix, where both those spots are very easy targets for the Lear. So that's what I'm kind of looking at to see how proactive does Blinn want to get, especially on the defensive side. Are they going to want to set the tone, or are they going to try to kind of play off of retakes, see if they can pull some of the utility out of MXS and stack some of their own later to try to fulfill some sort of a 5v5 re-execute? That's going to be, I think, the question here, because this Blinn team has always been carried off of their ability to play as a good 5-man squad, and I think that's going to have to be very true here on this map.
It's scary because Mata is on the Reyna, and that's a nightmare to happen. But we're gonna see if they're gonna keep the Reyna or maybe go back into that Jet or something completely new. Let's jump into the agent select, see what teams are gonna be deciding to play with. And yes, I'm feeling great because there's a couple of things. Mata on the Reyna, but also Muncie on the Harbor, Emily.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about the last time that they played Icebox, they played with Cloves. So this is a comp change from Blinn. Maybe this is expected from them because they're trying to figure out a way to counter the Reyna. Maybe a Harbor will help that. I don't know what you think, Shiv, but this could be a good change in my opinion.
I think the thing with the Harbor is it allows a little bit of easier deep scaling pressure, especially considering they are starting on the offense. You know, the High Tide can really find a lot of value over towards the B side of the map to get deep towards Snowman, and that will help allow Spaz to possibly even hold on to a Viper's Wall until later in the round to use it as a post-plant security blanket. But I think the biggest thing about this is the communication between how Monzi uses things like the Cascade and the High Tide, and how quickly Okeanos can dive in to take that space is going to be key here for Blinn's first half.
Also important to mention, when Blinn was playing that composition with the Clove, the roles were the other way around for Teague and Monsi, where Teague was the one playing that controller and Monsi was the one playing the Sova. So they changed it up to play with this Harbor composition, which I love to see, but we're going to find out if this is enough for Blinn to take this map, or it's going to be a Moisha provide 2-0. Casters, down to you.
All right, the second map of the series, and we're heading into it. Finally, over to Icebox after a win coming through from MXS.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into this one to see what Mata can do with the Reyna. Obviously, he's on fire right now, but that has literally been the case all year. I mean, he has been far and away the best statistical player in Challengers throughout literally this entire year, and to an even further extent in Stage 2. I mean, interestingly enough, the person in second in a lot of the stats, like 8 average combat score, kills per round, is actually Okeanos. So we'll see if he can step up to the task against Mata, who already dropped 29 on the first map. Okeanos playing Jet in the Leviathan composition that Blinn have decided to bring in to the fold today, swapping from what they had previously, what the desk were discussing. We'll see if they can fare a bit better with this, as MXS look to move on to that upper final and play against M80 for a spot in Ascension.
Oh my gosh! What the?
Yep, and that kind of sets the tone just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's actually nasty and crazy and disgusting.
Filthy even. Gross even. Just one shot fired, one kill collected. Gets a little extra HP on top of that as well. Mod is sitting at a cool 139 post the Reyna adjustments. Not really a buff or a nerf, but will result in Mata just being able to hold on to that extra HP armor gain. There's a lot of utilities being used here from Blinn just to feign more presence on A than is actually there, while they've inserted Okeanos and Spaz, all the way towards B. They're trying to circle back. Mata's just going to catch a second free one.
30 seconds going. Flawless. Especially now for MXS, a flawless round. Okay.
And that looked all too easy. Probably because it was all too easy.
Turret out.
That it really did look, honestly, like the beginning shot was just crazy. From there you could feel like how this was gonna go. It's Icebox, right? A Moist X Shopify picked map. Pretty much you're gonna see the level of comfort this team feels here.
Yeah, absolutely. Rock pushing forward, trying to Get that orb, stack it up on the gecko. Little orb harvesting agents. We're just going to be getting all those wingman diffuses, extra orbs going. Gets another already with the sheriff. MXS just ruthlessly fighting over top pipes. Not a care in the world.
Spike down A.
Yeah, just trying to make things go fairly quickly. Spaz does have the Marshal playing with it. And attempting to make the shots needed to
Toxins going up.
and get a rise. Out of them right now in this moment. Now, though, tagging off the feet there.
At this point, MXS don't need to do much more. They don't want this to get out of hand. If one of them wanders into the wrong angle, then maybe Blaine could even things up. And Okeanos is actually the one to peek. Catches Fly totally unprepared for that duel. Dash forward, spotted out Brock.
One enemy remaining.
Wow, beats a shot.
Left.
This is doable though.
Planted.
One enemy remaining.
Maybe. Actually, good up Okeanos for a second there. Was looking like he would have been able to run away with it, but Vic is able to recollect a scary round.
That is way too close. MXS felt like they already had that round locked up. They kept swinging for more and more. Okeanos finding that kill to even things up, though, on the fly. It was crazy. Just peak two-tap classic headshots. And almost spray transfers with the Bulldog for the win. Sick attempt from Blin's Star Duelist. And obviously, you can see the impact that it's had on the game. Look at Moist's economy. Their buy this round is dismal. Blin have the full rifles. Opportunity to get one on the board with the superior buy.
Taking a slight step away. Okeanos actually keeping calm. There's a big move up from MXS, so any noise, any information given away will be taken. But just looking to gather maybe even one elimination. It might just be able to happen right there, and then though Spaz finds the first shot. Tons of damage already on Fly.
Toxin screen down.
Trying to press forward now off that wall from the harbor. Wow, Fly swings through, actually gets one. Instantly dealt with though.
No charges left. My ult's ready.
One enemy remaining.
Giannis does get really, really nasty shots already coming down on MXS. Chance of opportunity, right? Giving themselves a round to put on the board. Not have to worry about what's going on there.
I knew we were back.
With only minimal damage taken as well.
Yeah.
Alright, but here's the full buy, and Brock is one away from the Thrash. Had already been working towards getting that ultimate available, taking duels on that prior round with the Sheriff, fighting close for that A orb. So that could be available to MXS to convert their first full buy versus buy round in this game. Look to go fast on mid. Okeanos getting up top, breaking that turret, playing off the cascade. One-way cloud burst, applying a lot of early pressure.
Poison's off.
Making so much noise over towards A. You'd think it was a fake, but it's not. Mata is there. He's waiting.
Yeah, pushed up, spotted out. Has to fall back.
Toxin
Good enough,
screen
though.
down.
Okay, Spaz on the move up. Wanting to make things work for the better, but they're literally just they're passing by.
Poison toxins going up.
The ships,
Revealing
the
area.
night, that whole thing. Shock Dart to break some of that KJ utility. Splin pushed up into A. Cascade wanted to place it forward, but MXS have scaled back into sight so quickly off that Dizzy.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god, they think they can fall back to B because main is clear.
Oh my gosh, the timing on that too. He missed the shot. They know where he is now. And I mean, for Vic, it doesn't matter. He's going to be able to win majority of the shots. Pick up the spike is all they need.
enemy
For T,
remaining.
but he's ready for it.
Poison orb.
And a
10 seconds
3v1
left.
left up to Spaz to now try to gain some sort of clutch potential to avoid this 3-1, but not gonna happen. Empress on Mata. And yeah.
That is disastrous and so utterly unfortunate for Blinn. They're trying to get into A. MXS, they're fighting it hard. They're swinging back in off the Dizzy. The utility that's coming back in for the Flood. Spaz says, it's all good, guys. B is open. I'm in the site. And they just run straight into Vic. Had no idea that they had just passed by each other in complete silence 30 seconds prior. At the very least, Blinn still have a competent buy, though. And a significant ultimate to play with in the Reckoning.
Looking for movement going forward. Of course, though, with that, does get shot down. Drone manages to find lots and lots of information to utilize in this moment, but already first one down. Flya can't do anything about it. They know where Vic is now, and the run and gun doesn't necessarily work the way that was planned, but still getting themselves out of the way of danger. Maybe not actually. 45 health in the recon dart, definitely going to make some damage.
Pretty weak. 2 mollies flying in the mosh. And the snake bite to deny that early plant. Can't go down. Reckoning now being popped just to get in safely to try to get the spike down as the wall drops.
Make way for them. Blinn
Spike planted. Last player
looking for
standing.
potential to get themselves something more if they can get past Brock. Either way, they have the time. 6 bullets left to their name. Actually, 12 maybe. Oh my gosh. They had a moment there.
Nicely done from Blinn. Just resetting things. Getting back in off the Reckoning as soon as that Viper wall was going to go down. Nicely timed with that. Putting MXS in a pretty bad financial situation here. Brock will be able to afford a hero rifle, and they'll be able to get a couple other odds and ends, but they will be saving up for the next, as we do have a pause of the technical variety.
Pretty good. Pretty good momentum going for them. Either way, it's back and forth, actually, but fortunate from that side of things. Now, especially with, Blinn having that Viper spit loaded up, it is going to cause quite an issue if they do get themselves pretty heavily onto the site. But I think Brock here is a detriment. So, I don't know. Both sides just trying to find some sort of peace in the heaviness of the game.
Yeah, and Okeanos has started pretty nicely, sitting at 7 for 4, contesting with Mata, both at the top of the board. That was a quick tech pause rather taken by MXS. We will let you guys know if it's going to take a bit longer or what is the issue when we are aware. But until then, the Yapathon. It is time to yap, Gompers.
The Yapathon? Oh gosh, is this like podcast? Is this what we're doing? I honestly, for me, man, Blinn has always been a team that, like, they're not even labeled as the underdogs anymore. I feel like Blinn is a team where you're kind of like, man, they could beat you, so like you should watch out. I feel like that's like the ongoing trend with a team like this one.
Right there.
All right, all good. We are out of the
All
tech
good.
pause. It was a fast one. Perhaps the classic, my mouse, something's wrong with my mouse. Sprints to the bathroom type tech pause. The classic. And all of Blinn are stacked up outside of A. The shock snakebite combo to deny any opportunity at getting that orb early. The standard opening from the A side attackers on Icebox. Drone turned off by the 0 point.
Oh, and that good shot already off Okeanos to start. gets the A site for the team, and they can settle for this. If you're Blinn, it is going to be quite hard because now all the util start to make its way, and Flya does get a shot off, maybe to MXS, looking to keep it going. But it just does not continue. Brock now pick up with a Vandal, but looks like a good time to save. Not really plausible for you to win this 1v3 now, especially the way things are going, but 3-3 now.
That got awkward. Scary for a second with Flya getting the 2-piece, but Blinn dealt with it nicely by swinging aggressively together. Good faces back sight. And things are evened up 3 for 3. That was a good entry from Okeanos as well. Continuing to play well as that Jet. All right, pretty big round here, though, as MXS Economy completely on the line. They have 3 very crucial ultimates available to them as Flag gets caught in the cross immediately before the cloud was up.
Deploying drone.
Keeping it going, though. Drone set out for Teague to see. At least give some way over to Okeanos to make this play. Blinn, well calculated. They know what they want. At the moment, how are they going to get it, though? Okeanos does have some sort of updraft and dash now to utilize in this moment. Smokes go up, looking for the one-way. Nobody watching it, though, so they know that there has been an execution leading up to the site. Now down towards back. It isn't there for Vic to keep hold.
They've been doing a great job, Blinn, of dealing with Vic towards back yellow. A couple rounds now when they've pressed up for this space. They've been able to catch him. They're trying to get forward. The wall does drop. So T was a little apprehensive to plant. Okeanos is trying to hold the angle for him. It gets tapped down by Odorous. Traded quickly, though. And on the retreat, they're going to place the lockdown. Thrash in an attempt to catch them. Will get one. Can they scale forward? Mike has to hold them back.
Dude, Diffusal's already there, too. Oh, they just waited way too long. Actually, my apologies, not waited way too long. Blinn waited way too long. Gotta play off that. So, stuck in a weird spot.
Timeout now called from Blinn. They've been keeping it close so far. A lot on the line for them. I mean, this is no doubt the biggest moment for these players as far as their careers, as far as I know. I mean, this is a very deep run for the collegiate team. Top 4 right now in the Challengers playoffs in legitimate contention to make it to the Ascension Tournament, which no one would have expected. They came in mid-season through the promotion relegation tournament and are now competing close against MXS, one of the favorites that we have. They beat M80 earlier in the season. It is just pretty mental, the run that these guys have been on. Really defying expectations. We're on the verge of taking Haven. Just a couple mismanaged situations, little mistakes that MXS were able to capitalize off of, take advantage of. Out of the timeout. Several ultimates of note headed into this round. You know, you have that Hunter's Fury, which would be very useful for taking the site or for the post plant. Obviously, the Viper's Pit for the post plant as well. So great pieces to use for Blinn to take this round away from MXS. Their economy still would be in a tough situation with 3 players on essentially 0. Flya caught through the wall again. Blinn are finding opening kills.
They're moving back out of the way after that. I mean, I would too. That's not a good way to go, especially as you are literally on your way out. But they lose one. They can recollect. Of course, reposition from Brock going down in mid to see if they can find something out there.
Slowing things down and now just working towards B main. Teague has already expended that info gathering utility, though, so Blinn are relegated to pure contacting through this area of the map. They don't have a drone, they don't have a recon for back yellow. They send out the Reckoning to site. They just have to clear this straight up. No one is there, though. So they do end up getting this plant essentially for free. Multiple
Spike
walls
planted.
protecting the Mossy, trying to scale deep into the site.
And that being said, looking at the way things are going, Vic is just looking for some more shots to make it work. It doesn't happen the way they planned, though. Mata backs off, and they're playing with the Empress, so now this is where the danger starts for Blinn. They know they can't get past this. Not getting taken out, but the timing is insane. He wide swings the angle with a Vandal.
Last player standing.
At the end of the day, this
One
might just
enemy
be the
remaining.
round for Blinn. Super low on Vic. Can't seem to get it. Actually, no, timing is there. And he pulls away from it, victorious.
Yeah, just barely. Nicely done from Vic with just 5 HP. Mike was playing the situation perfectly as well. Catching out Mata, trying to flank with the Empress activated. But that Viper's Pit pays off, makes a significant difference. And now Blinn, their eco sent to the bin. They have to buy whatever little weapons they can, sheriffs, etc., into this. It's been so back and forth. Neither team has been able to really build up their economy or string any amount of significant rounds together.
They move up. It does have high ground sight. Oh. Did they see it, though? Oh, yeah, they did. All right, 65 health left on Okeanos. And the move up could happen. But it's a very risky play. They need the headshot to hit this off Brock so they can clear up whatever's going on inside of Kitchen. While the majority starts to rotate back over towards A. It doesn't work. Already shot down, and that's MXS with that first hand.
Brock just patient. Okeanos wants to get active, make something happen. Teague caught out. Mata playing on top of the generator. Getting active, switching up his positions, ready to take more duels, shut down the economy.
One enemy remaining.
Low economy players, but it's
down
odorous.
Flawless.
Clean up the 2. Mata gets the final one. Flawless round. Maybe finally an opportunity for MXS to bolster their economy just a bit. It's been tumultuous so far in this half, despite having a 6-3 lead. It has not come easy to them at all.
One enemy remaining.
Difficult, actually. Man, Odashima
Down A.
really did show up there. MXS in general, having a really good time. There's not a lot of struggle going into, you know, pretty much the shots that they're firing. Mata, every time the Empress pops up, it proves to be a very big issue. But the lockdown and the KO readily available for this round. Everybody just settle down on A if you're Blinn.
Recon comes through to clear close. Doesn't spot anyone. Playing in front of that cascade. Mata's on top of this generator again. Playing that close angle. I mean, normally you'd see an offer there, but Mata is just ready to take the duel long range with a Phantom. He does not care. He is feeling it right now as Vic is pushed up solo.
Toxins going up.
That they do, dude, and they just keep on going. Vic is better.
enemy remaining.
Maybe not. Oh my gosh, the whiff. But I don't even think that's their fault. The flash comes in at a very inappropriate time. Dude, but they got that 3K like it was absolutely nothing.
Flawless.
Now it's up to Mike to see if they can find
Oh my
it. Never mind. No, it's
God.
Vic. It's Vic. It's just him. He's him.
That was nasty. He worked Blinn so hard there. The little jiggles back and forth. Kind of baited Teague into over-swinging before his teammates could even get there to help him. Was able to take 1v1s in succession. Just kind of movement sound baiting a little bit. And Teague to overplay the situation. Vic is such a consistently solid player for Moist Shopify. That probably doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. Because frankly, whenever you're looking at this team and thinking about the players, it's just a Mata all day, every day, and for really good reason. But this roster is really stacked. And I think that's part of the reason why, you know, a lot of fans have been a bit disappointed with some of their results so far. This roster is incredible. And you're really hoping for a lot from them. And they are peaking at the right time. They're looking really good right now for the playoffs.
Right here.
Poison orb retreating.
So Vic is ready to shoot. Patience and time is of the essence there. Vic does catch one. Can't seem to have the same amount of kind of firepower they did before, but of course, even without the headshots, they are still able to keep hold. The Viper making these plays possible. You know, looking for the last one. I mean, regardless, it's wraps either way with the Sheriffs, but kind of crazy with that 8-3 already. MXS proving to be a difficult team to beat.
Yeah, at this point, if you're going B, you're running into Vic. If you're going A, you're running into Mata. GG. They are both firing on all cylinders. Vic just tapping them down. That perfectly placed flash as well from Flya. Massive credit there to the IGL, their talented initiator. The flashbang timing was perfect. And now for this final round, there are a lot of ultimates in play. Vic, back-to-back 4Ks, just has his Viper's Pit again, which is so ridiculous.
Oh, they don't. Can't get it there.
Blocking sight.
Pushes up already, extended out towards B, and Okeanos getting ready for the lockdown to get rid of itself. As the lockdown goes, maybe just right behind, they can't seem to see it, the harbor. Smokes keeping them at bay for quite some time on the attack, but once that dissipates, actually, no, it doesn't matter. Viper's Pit settled down. They are covered for life here.
Yeah, Blinn, they want to flip the site right now.
That they might be able to do, but maybe not yet. Blinn are just destroying, trying to get themselves some sort of leeway here. They just need this one round. But for Flya, unfortunate as it is, the ultimate's still going down. Okeanos knows he's there, but it's a one tap. And if it can happen, they'll be able to pull through. All they need to see is the shoulder, and there it comes for Flya. That 9-3 difference to end off on the half.
Unfortunately for Okeanos, just way too weak there. Even the slightest shot through the wall was enough to take him down. A good effort. I like that from Blinn, recognizing, you know, with Mike going down from that three-man push, that the possibility of a really big, you know, heavy presence flank from MXS was on the table, so they try to flip the site B, go fight towards Snowman. But in the end, that man disadvantage, and unfortunately losing Mike, I believe had an ultimate in that round. I can't remember for certain, but going down early, that was just a little bit too much for them to deal with. MXS with a massive advantage now, 9-3. That being said, golfers, it is the day of comebacks. Every single game has had a crazy comeback. Every 9-3 has been a minimum 13-11. Will Blinn win this pistol round and then bring it to a 13-11 again? We shall see. It feels more than possible at this point. Matter of fact, it feels likely given what we've seen today.
It doesn't end there. Okay. Wow.
Right
Mike said nah. Pistol round is mine. And this is where the conversion happens. But is it? I mean, we still got 2 players left alive. Brock kind of coming back to their senses, following up on Otashima.
And now things are going to slow down. Brock in the late round, as always.
Yeah.
A demon. The Brocktagon. All that. Send out the wingman to clear back yellow as Otashima. Opportunity. Finds the first, immediately traded out though.
Mid.
Brock knows they're both there, but how can you recover the spike from this position?
One enemy remains.
Nothing easy though, Brock. Man, try to make it happen.
Revealing
Although
area.
didn't. Blinn, they did find themselves this pistol round, so finally bringing themselves back in the game, other than that unfortunate 9-3 half. But the replay crazy. Mike definitely showed up for the team down in that first half.
He was doing he was body shotting with that Sheriff. It works on the pistol round. That's hella damage. Brock almost clutching it up. All right. And at this point, I'm just expecting this game to come down to the wire for there to be a full comeback. That is what we've seen all day today. Every single 9-3 has come down to the wire with a crazy comeback. The team down wins the second half pistol. Can Blinn do it again? Can they steal away Moy Shopify's map pick of Icebox? An interesting map pick from them, to be honest. It's not a map that they play particularly often, so going straight into it was an interesting decision. I mean, it's paid off well so far, though.
Trying to move out of the way. To maybe find something down in A, especially with information already given away from Mata. Playing into the Reyna, could they try to secure something else? I mean, again, they're running on that high. They have that lead. There's not much stress to rely on with so much noise made just off that one alone. Now Shock Dart's settled and tons of damage made off that alone. Okeanos has such a big opportunity to just run away with a free 2 here.
Running up top, definitely in danger. Dash expires, low HP. Outlaw, obviously not great close range.
30 seconds left.
May not end up being in any danger at all. So MXS do opt to fall off.
Look around. Out through mid, and information given away from Mike, so this is going to be huge. They can play with this.
Seconds left.
At the moment, it might just be that 5-9. Blinn finally bringing themselves back up quite a bit, but MXS are going to be able to bring themselves some sort of advantage with the weaponry here.
Yeah, cleaned up with relative ease. Okeanos will have some opportunity to take shots with that outlawed. Players with light armor try for that one-shot potential onto Flya or Brock. And a kind of a note as well, both Killjoys actually getting really close to their lockdowns early on into this half, so something to keep track of as we move forward.
Have this in the bag, dude. Okeanos waiting. Oh, they could be good. Shot. Perfect timing. Already finding the second, maybe not. Does back off in time. But with 45 health left, and now a very, very long reload coming through with the Outlaw.
That is great. I mean, of course, he finds one of the light armor players in a clump as well.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's over. Mata's in. Mata's in. This is the time. The headshots are hitting. They peek the right-hand side. They could take out Teague pretty quickly. Oh, no. Teague is waiting and prepared. It's going to be 140 on the body, though. Monty follows up to try to take things down an extra notch.
Oh, my God.
And a bonus round ain't looking so bonus right now. I don't even know how to feel about that. That's crazy.
What even just happened? They walked into the blender on the right side of A site. I need to see that from some of the replays. I mean, did they actually just walked up into a crossfire and all died? Is that what happened? Mike was just holding with the Guardian from the far left towards screen, Spectre up top. Is that what happened? I mean, yeah, I suppose that helps. Yeah, that's literally what happened. Sometimes Valorant, simple game. That's the Valorant is an FPS game moment. The one-way settle down.
Destroyed.
And the smoke just trying to create some coverage to maybe offset the players here, but how well is that going to work? Maybe not. Okay, 1 minute, 20 seconds left, so there's a lot of time to recollect yourself if you're MXS. You have to rush into anything.
Oh my God.
But Mata's just better.
That is a sick shot. Still, though, how much can you really do off just that kill when you're at such a weapon disadvantage? MXS want to just contact into the A site. They should be able to get this plant for free.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose! Enemy down. My ultimate is ready. Not enough fuel. One enemy remaining.
Nicely done from them, scaling back into the site, playing together.
Yeah.
Right now the fundamentals from them looking pretty smooth in those situations. And still, players across the board, they are having their moments. No insane standout solo performance from any one player. They've all been contributing when it matters. This is a massive round, though. This is the one where Blinn can actually tie up the game. They have a lockdown coming into this. Close to that reckoning as well. Just one orb for Monty. With MXS's economy on the line right now, And if they get them to waste their lockdown, for instance, in a round loss, even more significant, Mata gets the first, just leaping down from the heavens. Insta-trade from Okeanos, though, picked up the operator.
Poison orb emitted.
Poison orb. It's going to prove to be
Poison
very difficult to get by, though. Already 2 players left on MXS. Spaz makes no exceptions to anyone remaining. This would have been such a perfect moment, but they're taking so many 1v1s. They're just letting the fights happen instead of having that plan, right? Wingman readily available to offset some pressure there. They have the mosh pit for anything of the sort to play in that post plan. So, unfortunate to see that happen, but especially now with lockdown settled down from Mike.
Thanks, Wings.
Not so sure how this is going to work.
Rocking the 1v3. Such a clutch player. This is a tall ask, though.
Okay, the Fusel. He's almost there. Push past that, though. Okay, slight shots already pushed through. Mosh Pit now finally playing into that host plant. They try their absolute hardest. And Brock stuck in 1v2, knowing that they need to try to fight this back. They did offset some pressure. Halfway through, they just need to make sure nobody's there, but Spaz peeks up the angle. Leaves Brock speechless.
That was such a nice try from Brock. Oh my god. That tap from the swing, the left side of yellow. Holy, that was so clean. Perfect timing to jump and throw down the molly. So intelligent in those situations. One of many of the reasons that he's such a valuable player for MXS. I mean, oh my god, that angle that Monsignor was pretty nice at the end there. Just getting that final bullet through the box. MXS taking this time out now. The coach Matt calling that as Berlin are on the cusp of tying the game. Surely will, given in this round they'll be at, well, actually with the plant down, MXS can have a reasonable buy, so we'll see what their plan is heading into this. And once again, the day of comebacks.
Comeback could be honestly quite difficult for MXS to counter. I feel like they really just kind of let themselves go in terms of, I don't know, they were feeling confident in the beginning. Now they're feeling they've just been taking too many 1v1s. I don't see the same coordination that I saw before. It's been very, very messy and impulsive. Is more so.
Yeah, absolutely. MXS have a lot of ultimates to work around here, as they do force up with that spike plant.
Away. Somebody's there.
Mondo's pressed up and gotten a lot of space.
Yeah. Not gonna put too much attention to it though. On the defense, they're just holding up.
Gonna plant spike.
They have information mid. They have the control there. Just waiting for the right moment too. Push out and make this happen. Of course, up shot on Blinn. Makes its way down. Finds a good shot.
Cleaned up by that drone, trying to find a timing to get proactive maybe with a leer, but at this point just needs to get proactive at staying alive. Vic is on this long flight, trying to break the lockdown, but can't, unable to do it.
And it won't stop. Okay, now here comes defusal, possible for Blinn, but they're still keeping hold. Okay, if they can fight this back, it might work. There comes Brock and Mata, bound halfway, and the op shot's there. If Okeanos can close this out, it might be it. But it's not enough. MXS, they found something to work with there. And, I mean, there was where the cohesion really needed to start to find itself, and it did.
Finally for them. And Vic on that long flank had a lot to do with it. Even though he wasn't able to break the lockdown, being able to even the numbers in that situation, I mean, he genuinely could have gotten a lot more, but what he did ended up being enough. As the rest of MXS were able to post up, play around the spike, allow those Blinn retakers to come to them. Big engagement on A really early. Look at Monty, how far he's pushed up. Here's Mata drop down.
Okay. I mean, if it works, it works. They definitely know Okeanos has op here, so I'm interested in, you know, there's so many lack of blinds, and they're just wasting.
You should run.
They're risking their lives to peek the angle, which I don't see does work out regardless anyway, though.
And at this point, there's nothing they can do about this lockdown. Okeanos is just going to have to retreat. Does MXS scale up into the site now? Null command used, ultimate after ultimate to gain free access to it. Mata in Trench is going to need some support from his teammates to continue to play this close up.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
One enemy remaining.
That pressure. Flya absolutely better, and it closes out the way that it started, quick and easy. A Blacklight flawless, bringing them to that 11-8. MXS, they're proceeding with caution, but they're definitely fixing up their mistakes and adapting, which was very, very much needed from the start.
Absolutely. They expend 2 very crucial ultimates to get that round converted, but that's what they're there for, obviously. The lockdown into the null command fully clears out the site. It allows them to post up really deep. Good positions in the post plant. Good productivity from Fly in the post plant as well, fighting deep with Mata. Love to see that. And now Blinner forced onto the timeout. Their upper bracket run hanging in the balance here on MXS's map pick. If they lose, obviously, they are not out of the tournament yet, but they will be down in the lower bracket, waiting to find out who their next opponent will be. A win here gets you straight to the upper final, where a win there gets you straight to Ascension. So we are on the cusp here of one of the 2 most important games in this entire bracket, one of the 2 most important games that these teams have been practicing for all year in NA Challengers. So much on the line. I have to wonder if Blinn even thought that they would be here in the first place, playing against teams of this caliber. After not even starting the year in Challengers, they had to get promoted into it halfway through during the relegation tournament, and have really made waves since then. They've been really impressive, but at least right now, it looks like MXS might just be 1 tier too high for them.
The poison's off.
Can rush this up. It doesn't necessarily want to right now. Nobody's behind. They're just listening in. You know the killjoy's here. Give away to that information. Now tons and tons of info going down towards mid, and they're going to fight this. See if maybe they can take out Blinn before they strike.
MXS are playing very passive right now in the spawn, waiting out this aggression. With that deep high tide, making it seem like they could be pushed all the way down to playing close in mid. But MXS don't have to be too worried about that because they've got that turret covering their flank. So if someone is there and they intend on wrapping behind B main, they will know. This Fly tries to keep the attention of the defenders on that A site.
Don't get in my way. Placing swarm grenade. Recalling my bot.
Right there.
30 seconds left.
Too afraid of this Viper's Pit. Instead, they are trying to gain some ground on it. There goes their Hunter's Fury settle down. Vic is able to find a fresh 2 off the rip.
10 seconds left.
Blinn fights back, but it's difficult. Now the Viper's Pit gone, that ultimate, they can't use it anymore, and Spaz is not having a good time with the amount of util that's just being pushed out forward from them, but the 1v1 there fought off on Monsi. And now finally good enough. No player advantage. Very, very equal playing field. Just having to get the defuse down.
This high tide, no one can deal with, and the Cove.
1 enemy remaining.
Looking to jiggle peek. It's big off Monsi, though. 31 health. They just have to stall for time. They know there's not enough time regardless. Maybe if they wait enough. Have to force Monsi into an uncomfortable position. Force them to have to fight this 1v1. Please don't let it get to half is what we're thinking. But Otoshino knows there's not enough time. They have to fight this regardless. Great on them on the timing there.
Yeah, nicely done from Otoshima, winning out that clutch, bringing MXS to map point, to match point. 1 away now from moving on to that upper bracket final against M80. Massive credit again in this round to Vic, who is really stepped up for MXS on this second map. And Mata's been playing well for sure, but Vic has really taken this game over, has outright won several rounds for the Moi Shopify side. This is Blin's last chance. It's a bad buy. They at least have the Reckoning to play with.
Just looking to push back down over Hero. Keanu's aggressive with it, but Mata did see. He knows somebody's on their way up. He's going to want to fight this duelist 1v1. Wings it out knowing,
I got the spike.
especially now
Right
reloading
there.
up that Empress, so they're going to be able to fight even harder now.
Right there.
Now MXS can slow things down with this man advantage. Around they're actually trying to fight back Yellow. But Mata gets caught on the cross, as does Flyer.
Huge continuation. Match point 2 for MXS, so at this moment with the Viper Spit there,
No fuel.
feel pretty good. Defense keeps on losing. 3v3 now, numbers going down. And it might just be it for them. Last one alive. And can they clutch it up? It's Teague that just keeps fighting. And the spike isn't even down yet.
Does he expect Odashima to be holding this cross? Though he doesn't, but he whiffed! Oh my god, Teague still has a chance somehow.
Spike's ticking.
But Brock, steady hands, closes the game out. And off that, I mean, look at, they're clouding on Odashima right now. But off that from Brock, Moi Shopify will make it into that upper bracket final. They're going to play against M80 next with a chance to make it to the Ascension Tournament in Monterey. The winner of that will go straight there. MXS have definitely started to peak at the right time. They're playing great in the playoffs. Vic stepping up so much on map 2. Mata, consistent as always. Fantastic on both maps.
And that itself is not going to be very easy to beat playing against M80 and going past that. I mean, in general, this whole entire series has been crazy. I feel like Blin, so many opportunities to just bring it back, and that's just the name of the game. These players are stepping it up a notch. They're practicing more. They want to make it. And that being said, they have a second chance, so it's not over just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those were a couple sick games today. But yeah, shout out to Blin for sure for how far they've come. And yeah, they're not out of it yet. They're going to be down in the lower bracket awaiting their opponents, who they'll find out who it is after tomorrow's games.
Of course, and we do have a couple more, I guess, waiting for the analyst test to see what they want to say about this. So we'll see you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. And analyst test, take it away.
Thank you guys. It is the 2-0 that ends up taking place for the set of Moi Shopify, and they look really good things. Once again, just like this, that was the story of today. At 9-3, it gets really close. We wonder, are they gonna make that comeback? Are they not? But this time around, it was a Moi Shopify that looked great from the beginning to the end, and even though it was that 9-3 advantage, they were able to gather everything that they needed to after the bonus to close it out. Emily.
Yeah, I like the Harbor pick from Blin. They changed up their comp for this match, and that was a good choice from them. I think if they just get a little bit more time on Harbor and a little bit more practice together, that this could be a really strong comp for them. But overall, I'm extremely proud of Blin, and they should be too. It's not over for them yet. They still have a second chance for tomorrow.
They still have a chance, and it's also a team that on the other side, that Moi Shopify, we talked about it at the beginning shift, a team that has had great moments, has had also moments where we wonder, where do they really stand? Are they in the mid-table? Are they going to be in the upper table? And now they're one match away from making it to Ascension.
It could be a tough one, I'll tell you that much, but I will say, I think kind of looking at this MXS squad, I was really impressed with Vic today. At least on this map in particular from the defensive side, he was essentially on an island for a lot of that defensive half over toward the B side, and he was a lockdown superstar. His ability not just to win yellow, but I think more importantly, continually put pressure through and up towards green into the offensive spawn, just really made life super, super tough for Blin. And that's kind of the thing that, we talk about the Harbor pick for Blin, trying to generally assume the high tide and the cascade is going to get you free space to get deep towards the sites. That's not going to happen when Vic is playing up and finding that much success. So really good stuff from the defensive side. I think for MXS on the other side of things, talking about their offensive struggles here and there, look, I think the thing about it was it took a while to figure out how they could actually get the Reyna in position to get good value. So, First Bloods really, again, open up the kind of storyline, I think, for that overall. Both teams doing a great job defensively, making sure the offenses don't get proper setups. But MXS, I think, eventually kind of got a read on what Blinn was trying to do for their default and just kind of picking them apart, pulling out a little bit of the key utility. And then a couple of their First Bloods there late just kind of took away key components of the roster for Blinn that they needed to kind of hold on to those sites a little bit more in a lockdown fashion. So, yeah, really cool stuff, I think, to see MXS, especially in that second half, try to adapt and get themselves into a good spot.
And as you can see from Vic, he's MVP for this match with 24 kills, only 14 deaths. And like you said, he was at yellow often, but he was getting away with it. And I saw support, if you're looking on the radar, from Fly. I was running snowmans and just chucking those flashes as deep as he could. So Vic was comfortable there in that area. He was able to constantly re-peak with the support flashes. He also had his Viper mollies. So he was just doing so much damage, and he just really held down the fort there. Mikey also did extremely well on Killjoy, MVP for his team, 20 and 16.
I think the other part about, when you can get a Sentinel, and like especially Vic on the Viper, deep in towards that yellow position, Blinn has to make tough decisions on their offense in terms of what utility they want to use, because it's going to be expensive. Do you use an Aldrone? That's expensive. Do you use your High Tide or Cascade early? You need those to be able to hold on to the site late. So, yeah, really good stuff, I think, for MXS, just causing a lot of issues for Blinn's offense in terms of what they wanted to use and when.
And that's the way that you win. You want to win clean. You want to win that 2-0. You want to make sure that you play the least amount and have the more time to prepare for those bigger matches that are going to be the next one that Shopify has. But we're not over yet. We're going to send it to the series highlights. You guys can look at everything that just happened. And when we come back, we have an interview with Meta.
One enemy remaining.
Welcome back, everyone. Now it is time for a post-match interview, and we have the star of the team of Shopify. It is Mata, to talk about this win and everything that we've seen for the team so far. Mata, first of all, congratulations. And I also want to talk about, first of all, something that we saw today, the 9-3 halves that were happening constantly for your team. How do you make sure that, you're not getting overconfident, and you make sure that the round and the game is not over until you get to 13?
I think we were honestly having a little bit too much fun when we were up 9-3. Kind of just let it slip. We came in today just wanting to have fun, and sorry. And bro, just get out, bro. Just go. Just leave. And I lost my train of thought completely. I'm not gonna lie. I just completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you guys are having fun. I mean, we see it. We see you guys having fun.
We were having fun, and I think we just had a little bit too much fun. Happens, We couldn't really stay too professional today, I guess. And yeah, no, we're just happy we won. 9-3, 10-2, it doesn't matter. We still won the game.
Yeah, as long as you're able to keep it together, and you're still close at 2-0. I want to ask, though, you are one of the best, if not the best, duelists that we have in Challengers right now. When you are playing against the composition that we saw for Blinn with that Neon on Haven, does the game plan for you guys change at all when the Neon's going a lot faster, playing a lot faster, getting away with those rounds? Oh. Never mind, I'll get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, our game plan, we have a set game plan, and myself individually, I have a pretty I don't really like share it. I don't really want to say too much, but I have my own game plan going into every game as well. So I know like what I'm gonna do in the game, and it does change depending on who we're playing against, like what we're playing against, what map we're playing. So everything does change.
And thinking about how doable it is how doable do you guys see that you will make Ascension? Because we've seen the general thoughts of the community is that obviously you guys are great, you're an amazing duelist, the team is looking really good, but there's also an M80, there's also a Dark Zero, there's also those teams that are coming through and having surprises. So how doable do you guys see making it to Ascension?
I mean, we're one game away, right? So
yeah,
I think it's pretty doable. I know we've had like a pretty rocky road, but at the end of the day, we were, aside from Turtle Troop, we were the #1 team last split, and I think we're just slowly getting back to that form. I think we just had a little bit of a slump, but we're back now. We're ready to play. I'm ready to play, you know, so I think it's very important. Like Vic, obviously, ready to play today. Came in, he just dropped a bomb on him. That's it.
Everybody's having their moments. Yeah, everybody's having their moments and looking confident. So, and that was exactly my last question for you. The last match to make it to Ascension, and if you win, you'll make it not only to the grand finals, but as you mentioned, Ascension is going to be against M80. How do you see that match going?
Probably M80 2-0.
M80 2-0?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I would ask, but we're going to keep it like that. Thank you so much, Mata, for joining me for this interview. We're going to see what the score is going to be like when that match takes place. Congratulations once again on the win. And now we get to bring back our analysts and close out the day because, as we mentioned, for everybody that is wondering in chat, everybody that is wondering what is going on, you don't need to worry. The teams that lost today, they're not eliminated just yet. But tomorrow, Shift, is a different story.
I mean, I'm going to just bite off more than we should be chewing right now. We're going to have the potential of a Dark Zero Esports playing Oxygen Esports lower round 2. That could be, if not should have been, in a lot of people's minds, the grand final for this entire thing. So the fact that one of those two teams isn't going to have a chance at Ascension and even come close to it is mind-blowing. On the other side, I actually think that SAD Esports versus TSM game is going to be extremely close. I think that how SAD have played lately has shown a lot of growth. Even though TSM carries, I think, extra weight based on the roster that they have on paper, I think that SAD Esports team could actually cook something up and have a chance to square up against Blinn.
We're going to see how that is going to play out. Do you have any predictions, any thoughts in either today or tomorrow, Emily? Because as Shift was saying, the matches look really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how it's gonna go because I'm looking at the head-to-head of Dark Zero and Fluffy Aimers, and the last time that they played was in week 6 of stage 2, and Fluffy Aimers took the win here, kind of convincingly, to be honest. And same thing for SAD versus TSM. When they went to head-to-head, it was a while ago, actually, in stage 1, where SAD won 2-1 versus TSM. So this is an opportunity for revenge, and it's, you know, go hard or go home tomorrow. So everybody's gonna have to be on their aim game because there's no chances and no more room for errors or mistakes to happen.
Yeah, all the teams in the lower bracket are going to be fighting to have a run and make it to Ascension that way, but it's definitely not going to be easy. But one thing for sure is that the matches are going to be amazing. Thank you, everybody, for watching today, for watching the upper bracket with us. Tomorrow, we'll be back at the same time, same place with the lower bracket, and we'll continue to see who's going to make a run.
I have the spike. One enemy remaining. enemy remaining.
Cutting through.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
There you are, you little. Stay down.
One enemy standing. One enemy.
Oops.
Remaining. 30 seconds left. One enemy remaining. Spike down. One enemy. Spike down. One enemy remaining. Ending.
No touch. There.
Down. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Reina.
One enemy
My
remaining.
double's dead.
Spike. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Spike sticky.